back to another edition of the In the Game interview series. We've got with us today Octavia Saunders, head coach at Salem College. Octavia, thanks for taking some time to join us today. Why don't you take a bit and give us your background in the game, how you guys started playing, and what led you to the States?
All right. Thanks for having me, Reed. I really appreciate it. So I started playing when I was probably 5 years old. There was no girls team around me. So thankfully, my mum persuaded the boys coach to give me a tryout, and I tried out, and he let me play for him. So I was playing with the boys from 6 until about 13. And then my mum actually started a local girls, women's soccer team, just so I could have somewhere to play locally. But I started playing for Plymouth Argyle when I was 10. Plymouth is a 2-hour drive from my home to train, and so twice a week my mum and dad would drive me 2 hours there to train, and then 2 hours back, and then on a Saturday and Sunday we was all across the country traveling to play. So really thankful for them giving me that, because I wouldn't be as good as I was to get out here without it. So yeah, and then when I was 15, I actually moved away from home and I played for Bristol Academy, which is another 2 hours, but obviously we was training every day. So it was kind of part of the college theme too. So I was attending Filton College for school whilst also playing for Bristol Academy. And I had a share home with 4 other girls my age at 16. So you could imagine the stories we got from that. But yeah, so that kind of got me into the level I was at, enabled for me to come out here. I got a call from a coach who knew my coach at Bristol, and she was from Ireland, so she made it feel at home, and obviously gave me a scholarship. And then I found my way to University of Montevallo in Alabama when I was 18. Culture shock, Alabama from England for sure. But luckily I had a lot of other foreign teammates too, from Norway, Germany, Iceland, and then some American ones too. So they made it feel right at home. So I was at University of Montevallo for 4 years. And then honestly, coaching wise, I never thought I was going to be a coach. Like that was never my goal. Like my goal, I just wanted to keep playing ball, you know? And then luckily, I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to be the assistant at Brevard College. And I knew I'd regret not taking it and not staying another year in the States, at least, and trying it out. So I jumped at it, and my first game day as a coach, like I can't ever get that feeling out. Like it was unreal. So, and that's when I really knew that, you know what, this is a career that I want to pursue. So I was at Brevard for 3 years as the assistant there, gained a lot of experience, met a lot of cool, amazing people, and then got the job at Salem a year and a half ago now. So I'm excited to be where I'm at, but definitely thankful for the journey that has led me here.
Yeah, I can attest to the culture shock you must have felt when you first got to Montevallo. Spent many hours there at Region 3 South Camp. So I can imagine that those first couple of weeks were very, very difficult.
Yeah, especially running the 2 mile at 6 a.m. when it's still like 1,000 degrees. No matter what time of the day it is in Alabama, it is hot. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So when you first came to Brevard, Shug was still there, right?
Yeah, Shug hired me. Great guy. Really thankful for him.
Yeah, Shug's fantastic. He's out at Arizona State now as either the assistant or the associate. I can't remember off the top of my head. How was transitioning from a player into coach for you?
It was tough. I had to like kind of tone down, I think, a little bit, because I have a very strong mentality as a player. So it's definitely kind of having to reflect and figure out a way how I can get my point across that's going to relate to the girls in the best way, and not get so fired up at the tiniest things sometimes, you know. So it was tough, and obviously I was still young. I was still very young. I was still close to that age. So I had to make sure I came in and respect. That was my biggest thing, and made sure like I made them the boundaries known, and then I was their coach. So it was tough, but I navigated through it, and I grew a lot over those 3 years, and I'm just so thankful to Sugar and Juan for giving me that opportunity.
Yeah,
There's
so
definitely good support for me for that, especially like at the start with Shug, he was able to like kind of talk me through on how I can navigate those waters.
and obviously we talked about your kind of transition, and you're still doing a bit of playing nowadays as well, right?
Sorry?
You still playing with Asheville City?
Yeah, I was. I think I won't stop playing until I can't run anymore. So yeah, it was awesome. I mean, season's not going on this year, but last 2 years I've been playing summer league for Asheville City, and I mean the crowds they get out of the games is such a cool atmosphere, and you get to play in front of a big crowd, and yeah, and around amazing players. Like the caliber of players we had on the field was great, and they all was like their soccer mind was top notch. So it was nice to play with some players that definitely knew the game and understood the game very well.
That's awesome. You kind of get the best of both worlds. You get to coach full time, and you still get your fix as well, playing at a high level.
Yeah, I think I play in every co-ed league possible here in Winston too, and Greensboro. So I just can't stop myself.
Yeah. So you coaching club as well right now?
Yeah, for NC Fusion, I coach their itty bitty U11s pre-ECNL team, and that's a shock going from I go from my college training and then I go straight to like a U11 training. So I have to really like kind of come up and down. But I think the parents appreciate my I guess mentality and enthusiasm on the sideline with the U11s. They love it, but yeah, I can't tone it down for them.
Yeah, it's been a while since I coached a team that young, but whenever I was still an assistant at Mount Olive, there was many days where I took our college session and tried to just completely change it into my U12 team, and it was interesting at times what we were able to get done, and it was interesting sometimes what we couldn't get done.
Yeah, and adapting to that like on the fly.
Yeah, very much so, very much so. So obviously we get a chance to coach against each other, being in the same conference. You know, I know what I expect from your teams when I watch them play because I've watched them play so many times already. But what would you say is your team style of play?
We like to play. It's definitely been a journey for us from where I took it over. I mean, and changing that mindset. But we're encouraging more the style of possession, like playing it out and I'm not like dilly dallying with it. Like our first look, we want to look forward. You know, we want to play forward. But if it's not on, can we just keep possession and keep the ball? I feel like our final third is pretty aggressive. We like to have fast people on our wings and stuff like that. And if you get a chance, like take them on in our final third and get creative. So, yeah, I mean, we've definitely, I think we've come quite a distance playing wise from when I first come to now. But yeah, I mean, I like to play the ball around. I like that. I cannot watch or deal with kickball. So as much as possible, I try to incorporate our goalkeeper a lot more now and being able to play out and play back through them and out again. So it's definitely the direction we're going in more. I think the girls have definitely bought in on it. So it's just keeping that momentum going.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to some of the speed that you guys have out on the wings, watching my wing backs. Tongues hanging out towards the end of our game this past year. When you're out recruiting, what are things that really stand out to you when you're identifying players?
I think two big things for me is mentality. Like, are they never going to give up? Are they going to keep fighting? And soccer IQ. I mean, with the direction we want to go is definitely, do they understand the game? Do they see the field? Are they aware of their surroundings? That's my two biggest things when I'm looking at players.
What if you were identifying a player, what are some things that would probably put you off from wanting them to be a part of your program?
So in the recruiting process, I do a lot of building the relationship and bringing them in to meet the team. And if the team does not get a good vibe, then they're not going to be a part of our program. I think it's very important to have that family culture. And if they're going to be a cancer to that, we don't want them, no matter how good you are.
Yeah, I think that's something that we try to do at Peace as well. It's very much that even if you're a great player, if it's not the right fit socially, and the team, our team at Peace is very, very close, and they'll sniff that stuff out very, very quickly. I think that our team is very much a big part of our recruiting process, kind of like what you're talking about as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every recruit we have, they do an overnight trip. That's one of my big things, and it's very important for the team to get to know them as well as them get to know the team. I think it can go both ways too. The team can be a massive selling point, I mean, I'm fortunate that I have some great personalities and a great group of girls, so they can be the selling point, and then they can sniff out if there's a bad egg when we don't want them.
Yeah, I think no matter how much due diligence we do as coaches, it's always important that we get those looks from our team, and we talk to them about the recruits, because there's always things that happen outside the coach's view, right?
Exactly.
And I think it's a different side for us. We can talk to club coaches, we can talk to high school coaches, we can talk to people who are blue in the face, but we really have to take an idea of that holistic approach of what things are going to be.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we see it from one side too. This is how we feel like our program is, but I mean, our girls can answer the real questions, the real questions that they have. So I think it's extremely important.
Yeah, for sure. What are some of your favorite activities to do with your teams?
I guess I got a few. I guess I like to especially around midterm week and stuff like that when it's very stressful, or we've got a stressful week coming up in conference. We do always start training with some fun games. We do this crossbar challenge thing, but it's different variations. So they start with just throwing it at the crossbar, and then they're in teams, and then they volley it and stuff like that. That's always a fun one. My team loves over the river, absolutely loves it. But tight and in a small space. So they just get so competitive in that game. I think that's definitely one of their favorites. I guess I try to vary up my training as much as possible just to keep it fun and different for the girls. But I guess those are a couple of activities that the team really just love to do.
Good. Yeah. What are you guys doing with your team currently? Obviously, we're extremely limited. Us as a group, we try to do at least weekly Zoom calls and all that good stuff. What are you guys doing?
We had just had individual meetings this week, so that was a lot of fun, and we did a leadership survey, because both of my captains actually in the fall were seniors, so me and my assistant are trying to figure out who would be the best option. So we definitely wanted to get the insight from the team. So we did individual meetings this week and talked about their goals and how they're going to achieve them, and how's school going. That is always my first question. Mm-hmm. Every week we do a team meeting, and there's a different kind of activity that they have to think about. So we did they had to take a picture of their favorite item in the house, their kind of most meaningful item. And then they sent it all to my assistant, and then my assistant would send it in the group. So while we're all on Zoom, we had to guess whose item it was, which was a lot of fun. And then they had to talk about why it was so meaningful for them. And so, yeah, we just do different activities each week. We did this rosebud fawn thing. So it's their favorite moment of the week, their not so favorite moment of the week, and then their moment they're looking forward to next week. So I think it's been a really good way to bond out of soccer. When we go on these Zoom meetings, we don't actually talk soccer at all. Yeah. We actually just get to know each other as people, and I think it's come a really long way as a team. And we have seen it group chat wise, they are on it, and then they're doing team TikToks and team videos, and so it's been a really great way for them to just get to know each other as people in a different kind of light. So
Yeah, I think,
I look forward to that team meeting every week. It's like my highlight of the week. We're all just like laughing, having a joke and stuff like that. So it's nice.
Yeah, I think we've been doing weekly meetings as well, and just to get to see each other's faces. I think it's just kind of at least us. It's obviously not the same, but it's at least a small feeling of being back with your group, you know. And that's probably one of the hardest things for me. We only got to train 2 days in spring, and then they were gone. So you know, it was like almost like a tease of, all right, this is something that we're continuing to build towards, and then it's taken away. And I've struggled with that a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like as coaches, we've come up with these goals that we want to achieve in the spring, and then it all just come crashing down. And it's just like, all right, we're going in the fall. It's like we didn't even get to work on anything that we really wanted to work on, but it's definitely been. I mean, we just added our newbies into our group chat too. So, I mean, they don't have prom. They've lost their senior season. I think it was an important time to just like get them included and be a part of something. So that's been nice for them to start already getting to know each other before it comes to August.
Yeah, we were able to add our new ones. They came on our Zoom call last week and got a chance to kind of. Obviously, the team already knows them and they've already been talking to them, but they got a chance to kind of introduce themselves and kind of get to start with some of our team bonding stuff that we've been working on. So like each week we've had a different topic. So like this week our topic is commitment. So there's a little survey they had to fill out that we'll kind of talk about and kind of talk about how we can increase the buy-in from them and commitment and those kind of things.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine if I was a spring coach, and obviously we talk about losing our spring, but if we'd have lost our full true season, I think I would probably be pulling my hair out right now, even though I've got to cut short right
now. Yeah, honestly, my heart goes out to them and those seniors, and I mean all of those players that they've worked so hard all year and they didn't even get to do what they've been working towards. So yes,
for sure. I've talked with our lacrosse coach many days and tried to be at least a little help. I don't know how much of a help I am, but I'll try to be. So, what's one of your favorite coaching memories?
I guess I got two. I guess one's on the field and one's off the field. I think my one off the field, we had a pre-season trip to Wilmington last season, and we just went on the beach the first night, and we were all playing beach games. Like we all ran into the water as soon as we hit the sand, and that memory will forever be one of my favorite times spending with the team. It was awesome. I guess my soccer. So I'm gonna have to apologize to Brian because it was when we beat Methodist in overtime, and the whole team just bombarded the field. That was an incredible moment. I can't even put into words the feeling that was, but you know, a big overtime win goes a long way, you know.
It was an incredible goal to do it as well. For sure. Always nice to hear the hometown getting some love too, being from Wilmington.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that game, it was between us and them to get second seed, so it was a big game, and we knew there was a lot riding on it. So yeah, it was an awesome feeling.
Yeah, for sure. What do you feel like is one of the most important pieces of being a coach for
you? For me, I think it's just being their mentor and being someone that they can go to for advice, whatever that is, soccer related, not soccer related, and just being someone that helps them grow throughout their 4 years of college that's why I do it, honestly. Like, yeah, one of my favorite things is game day, but my most favorite thing is just watching them grow over the 4 years and being a big part of that and being a big part of their experience and building those relationships with those players, going through the hard times and the good times with them. I think just being that person that they can lean on, you know. And I mean, I have players that ask me for references all the way since my first year from Brevard, you know, that still ask me for references. So just building those relationships and being that person that they can have.
Yeah, I think it's very, very easy to go through the good times with someone, and I think it means way more to go through the tough times, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Completely agree.
And I think it shows your true colors if you're able to stick through a tough time with somebody and show that you're by your side and that you were being honest with them when you said that you were going to be there for
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one of my main rules as a coach is you have to let me know, no matter what it is, we can figure it out together, but I've got to know so I can help you.
them. For sure, I think that honesty kind of goes both ways. I think honesty is something that has come up as we've gone through these topics, and you know players expect us to be honest with them. We expect our players to be honest with us, and I think that if you don't have that honesty, you can't have trust.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not going to get very far if we don't trust each other.
Very true. Doesn't work out well when you have people in the team fighting against each other. For sure. Who would you consider some of your coaching mentors? Obviously, we've already talked about Shug. Who else would you consider some of your coaching mentors?
Shug. Yeah, I mean, Kristen Risotto she's a Brevard Women's Lacrosse coach, but I mean, we always are going to each other for advice or just chatting about what's going on in our programs and stuff like that. And honestly, if it weren't for her, I wouldn't have got my shot at Brevard. So I've definitely got to commend her. I mean, we played together at Montevallo. I was a freshman and she was a senior, and I looked up to her as a player. But now within my career, I also look up to her as a coach. So, and then obviously Trish, my athletic director, but also the person that brought me over to the States. I mean, I look back and I think she's always someone that I can go to and ask her anything and get advice on anything, and she'll tell me straight, and I can always, no matter what it is, she'll help me figure it out, and be there for me. So, and she's shown me, I think she was the coach who initially showed me that the importance of caring about your players off the field and how far that really goes. And then I think the last one, and this is really just soccer related, at Bristol, I was fortunate enough to be coached by Mark Sampson for 2 years, and his game knowledge is off the charts. Like, he was able to take us so far. I mean, we earned so many awards, but just his tactical brain and the way he could communicate that on the field to us was incredible. So I definitely learned, as a player, he's definitely one that I've learned the most from. So yeah, those are probably my top 3.
Very nice, very nice. What's some advice that you would give to young coaches?
Grind. This career is all about grind. If you grind and you work hard and you stay loyal, you'll do well. I think having work ethic and loyalty is the 2 biggest things, I think, in this kind of career. I mean, assistant life is not easy, but it's worth the experience.
Yeah, I think that it can be very, very difficult being a young assistant. Obviously, typically the pay is not great, and you're trying to make ends meet and coaching 3 teams or doing whatever you have to do to sacrifice to do it. But I think it makes the end result so much sweeter.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the work you put in, and then when you see the results, and then when you get the opportunities that come from your work, like that, it definitely, this job is so rewarding in a lot of ways. Even though, like you say, the pay is not great, but there's so many other rewards you can get out of it. But I think the 2 biggest pieces of advice I'd say is it's going to be a lot of grind, and you've got to stay loyal to your boss. I think as an assistant, that is your number 1 priority, is the loyalty that you have with your head coach.
Yeah, I think as an assistant, there's probably going to be times where you don't necessarily agree with what the head coach is doing, but you have to support that vision wholeheartedly. And when they give the opportunity, you give your 2 cents to them. And obviously that's behind closed doors. And then whenever you're out in public, it's what the coach says we're going to do is what we're going to do, and I'm going to support that.
Yeah, Exactly. And then I think as an assistant, I've definitely learned that it's important for me to give my assistant a voice too, and make sure we have the relationship where she knows she can come to me if she feels like something's off or there's an issue, or and we fix it together. And it's that kind of team environment. I think it's very important to have that team kind of environment within your coaching staff, not just amongst the team.
Yeah, I think being a college head coach is something that is close to impossible to do by yourself. So, if you can surround yourself with good assistants, and it's only going to be beneficial to you and your program for sure.
Agreed. Yeah, totally. Someone that can be a big liaison between you and the team, and someone that's not just going to say yes, that's going to kind of challenge you in a way that's going to make the team better. It's definitely important.
Completely agree with that. So,
because sometimes we don't know everything, do we, Reed? Sometimes.
No. I've been wrong once or twice. Probably not more than that, but I've been wrong once or twice. Well, Aki, obviously we're competitive in the college game, but I'm gonna say I really do miss working with you with the ODP stuff and us being on the same staff for a couple of years. You're somebody that as a coach I have a lot of respect for, and I really appreciate you taking some time to talk with us today.
Thank you, Reed. I really appreciate that, and I respect you too. And I think you're someone that I can trust. Go to in the conference if I have a question or anything like that. Like, I mean, yesterday you're the first person I was like, hey, what's the answer to this? So yeah, I appreciate you always being there for me. So, and I look forward to seeing you on the field in the fall. All right, thanks for your time.
God willing, I'm looking forward to doing it as well. Talk soon, okay?
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Reed.